Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Days of Thunder 4, the Dimir Synthesizer deck featuring a way to drain the opponent out without having to attack. We are fully capable of making robot overlords, but we add a new way of bringing down opposing life totals. With this version, we've added a new artifact from the recent Avatar set that helps our replication efforts and gives us a three-pronged attack to taking down the opponent. We've got some of our usual shenanigans, as well as cards to stop opposing cards that might damage our board. Let's get in there. We're playing the full set of Into the Flood Maw, the 1-mana bounce spell that can hit enemy men at instant speed. We can also gift a sushi to the opponent and bounce any non-land permanent back to the opponent's hand. It's been a useful card before, and here we can use it early to delay an enemy threat. We're looking to buy ourselves some time while we wait to set up our board, and the bounce could do the trick. Later in the game, we can use it to bounce an opposing blocker to clear the way for our team to get in some hits. 3 Steps Ahead is a staple in our synthesizer decks. It can easily generate an instant factory for our Helm to duplicate turn after turn, but it can also be used to counter any spell the opponent fires off. With enough mana, we can use multiple modes. Even the draw function is useful, as that can help us find one of our key cards. Fountainport Bell is a 1-mana artifact we can use to dig ourselves out of being stuck with a shuffler special. Later in the game, we can use it to draw a card for 2 mana, and the sacrifice portion becomes very relevant. The inclusion of a pair of artifacts that can sacrifice themselves is intentional, but we'll get to that a little later. Cryogenic Relic is another artifact that can sacrifice itself. When it enters play, we get an extra draw, and that can also help us dig out from being stuck on 2 mana. For 2 mana, the Relic has an activated ability that lets us sacrifice it to put a stun counter on a tapped enemy. When it leaves play, we get to draw another card as well. While there are other ways to tap down enemy men, this comes with a pair of cards that could find us one of our key cards. Negate is a second counterspell that will counter any spells that would destroy our board. With it, we're also able to counter any opposing planeswalkers before they hit the board. In control matchups, this gives us a chance to counter opposing counters, and only for 2 mana. The Synthesizer is one of our key cards. It gives us a scry 2 when it enters play, and will generate robot overlords with every artifact that is 3 mana or more that enters play on our side. The Helm is the perfect companion to the Our Factory outlet. It's 3 mana, so it will trigger any factories we have in play, and will automatically generate a map token with every artifact token we generate. For 2 mana, we can use the Helm to create a token copy of any artifact token we have in play. Ideally, we use this copy ability to create more token synthesizers to overwhelm the opponent with an army of robot overlords. Pactdoll Terror is another key card. The Terror will drain the opponent for every artifact that enters play on our side, and that includes itself. It is fully capable of draining the opponent if we're able to generate plenty artifacts turn after turn. A Synthesizer and Helm combination is usually a great way to generate plenty of artifacts. With the right setup, we won't even have to send in our men. Phoenix Fleet Airship is the new card that we're looking to take advantage of. It's a 4-mana vehicle with flying, so can get in thanks to this evasion ability. But what makes it great for this deck is that it will generate token copies of itself at the end of our turn if we have sacrificed a permanent during our turn. That means our sacrifice artifacts suddenly come with additional copies of the Airship. These additional copies will generate more copies as long as we can keep sacrificing a permanent during our turns. And if you noticed, the Terror will love seeing more artifacts enter play on our side. Additional drain? Yes, it is. But our synthesizers also love seeing additional artifacts enter. Each token copy of the Airship is another robot overlord. With multiple factories, the numbers can be overwhelming to enemy defenders. As a bonus, once we have 8 or more airships in play, each airship will turn into an artifact creature. A squad of 4/4 flyers are usually able to get the job done against opponents without flying blockers. Note that the Helm is fully capable of making extra copies of token airships to boost the numbers in our fleet. Haunt the Network is a finisher type of card that will drain the opponent for every artifact we control. It will also generate a pair of 1/1 flying artifact men. Even if we need to fire it off early, the drain and gain might be enough to keep us in games while our other cards work towards taking down more of the opponent's life total. For lands, we're playing 3 Fountainport, the special land we can use to generate tokens or sacrifice tokens for card draw. This is an additional way of sacrificing a permanent to trigger the airship duplication. 4 Undercity Sewers, the Dimir Surveil land. 4 Gloomlake Verge, the island that becomes a dual when we have an island or swamp in play. 6 Swamp. 1 Uthros, the Titanic Godcore, the special land that will tap for a blue mana for each artifact we control, but only after we station 12 power worth of men. And 6 Island. Playing the deck is fairly straightforward. Our early plays are all to help set up our board or help find one of our key cards. Enemy men are the biggest threats early. Use timely bounce to delay the opponent and buy time to keep setting up. Once we have one of our key cards in play, it's time to generate as many artifacts as possible. A terror can prop up our life total and is a great target to copy with a 3 steps ahead, and to keep copying with a helm for a drain and gain attack that also generates robot overlords if we have a synthesizer in play. With an airship in play, look to make a sacrifice every turn to take advantage of their replication ability. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Richard Angle 0. If he's not playing Angels, I'll be disappointed. We're kicking things off with a 3-lander. We've got double factory, and we have enough the blue mana we'll need. The Relic and Terror are a bonus here. Keep your pants on. Our Surveil land shows us a Negate on top. We're still not sure if it'll come in handy here or not, but we'll take it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. They play out a passage. I'll be not surprised if they fetch out a forest. They get a plains, maybe they're on Angels after all. We could hold up our Negate, but let's play out the Relic. We'll get an extra draw and help our artifact count for when we start generating robot overlords. They play out a Lieutenant, but they've played it out at the wrong time. That's a mid-game play once you have a board of men that will benefit from the Enters play ability. Oopsie poopsie, bro. On top, we have another Negate and a Fountainport Bell. We already have a Negate, and it looks like it might not have that many targets. We'll ship both. They play out an Airbender's Ascension, but there's not much for them to airbend. If they had waited another turn, they would have had a robot overlord to airbend. Oopsie poopsie, bro. We started with a 3-lander, and we still have a 3-lander. Let's see what's coming and drop in our Surveil land. That's an island on top. We'll toss it in the grave. We've got plenty of lands for the moment. We'll go with the second factory. On top, we have a bounce and a helm. I like both, so we'll keep them, and in that order. They play out another ally. That's what they should have played out first. Better late than never. We'll play the swamp, then play out the terror. This will give us the ability to hit something with our bounce if we need to. We've got men much bigger than theirs. Unless they bring numbers, they're going to struggle badly. Let's get in there. To my surprise, they take the hit. Damages, bro. Damages. They play out an Elspeth. They'll be able to generate some blockers, but our double-pronged attack will be eating away at their life total.
As we fight. Join the fight.
At the end of their turn, we'll bounce one of their tokens. That cuts down on their numbers. We'll go with our helm. The map tokens we get from it are going to cut their life total down quickly. we'll send in the robot overlords. Note that also going in with the Terror would mean we'd take their last 2 points with a copy of a robot overlord. To make this a game, they're going to need a sweeper, but we've got the Negate for that. Let's see that sweeper. No, wait. That's a Katara, the hope of the entire water tribe, and the hope of Richard Angle's Zero as well. In the very final hour of the game, they've unlocked their token combo. Behold the power of their cheese.
Ready arms!
To finish them off without having to attack, we draw a third factory outlet. Prices are so low, they're gonna melt their face off. Damages are inbound, bro. Grab a hold of your tokens. Hold them tight. That's GG's. Extra token cheese. This is all-legged Normie. He holds a sword pretty well for being all legs. We get a shuffler special, but we do have a pair of our anti-2 mana cards in hand. In fact, this means we've got 3 lands already. The double airship might be what gets the job done for us this game. Keep your pants on. We'll play out the bell and fetch out a swamp. We're on our way to 4 mana, even though we started with only 2. This turn we'll drop in the Relic. The extra card draw will help us find a 4th land. We get another bell instead, but we can use it to guarantee that 4 mana we need. We draw a 4th land without having to use our bell. So easy. Even a caveman could do it. There's a hitch with the bell. The opponent has never seen something so threatening. If they are this worried about a bell, wait until they see the airships. They play out a katana. We're not worried about small men, so we'll let that go. They send it. That's only 3 damages. At the end of their turn, we'll sacrifice the relic to keep their token tied down while we drop in airships. We draw a 3rd airship. The fleet is on the way. The first airship lands this turn. Then we start cracking artifacts to load up our board. They hit our first airship with a suplex. Unfortunately, we don't have enough mana to play out an airship and protect it with Negate. At least now we don't. Even if they have another suplex, this turn we can sacrifice a bell and get our first token airship. We draw a Haunt the Network, which will work great once we load up the board with airships. Or we can fire it off a little early, and the 1/1 tokens can crew up and we can send part of the fleet. You smell that? That's fear. Lands, bro? I don't know what you're talking about. We came prepared for shuffler specials. We draw a factory outlet. But right now, we're working on making as many airships for the opponent as possible. We're slashing prices on those. Why? Here's another. The bell gets us a helm, which is absolutely perfect. We can use the helm to make additional copies of the airship, and the map tokens can be sacrificed to boost our robot overlords. Bless their hearts, they got themselves up to 4 mana. Now let's see what they do with it. A darkness crystal. Most of our men are going to be tokens. I don't know how useful that is going to be. We draw our second haunt, the network, and now we have a decision point. Do we go all in with Factory and Helm, or just go with the Helm and use it to make more airships? While the Factory is always great, the Helm can seal the deal on this game, and we can hold up our counter in case they have a way to nuke our board. They fire off a Circle of Power. It's not quite the powerful card we thought they might have. That's all yours, bro. Enjoy your circle of friends. At the end of their turn, we'll make another airship. That's 7 already. All we need is 1 more and we can send the fleet. Straight to their face. We've got enough mana for a haunt the network and to make the 8th airship. Let's enable the fleet first. Fire in the circle hole. That would make it a donut. They give us the GGs, and that's exactly what it is. Extra airship cheese. This is Miss Chaha Hayden. That's a neat trick. Are you in the circus? We get another 3-lander with a Factory and a Helm. The bounce will come in handy if they've got early men. Keep. They play out a hired claw. Nobody hired that guy, bro. What's going on? They drop one in their pants and fire off a pump spell. Oopsie poopsie, bro. Wait a second. They kept a 1-lander? Genius move, genius. It's time for our Factory. We'll work on slashing prices so even players on 1 mana can afford to have a robot overlord sent to them. Shipping is always free. On top, we have another airship and a terror. We may not have the black mana for the airship, but we'll keep both anyways. Bro might be cooked if they don't get a 2nd land soon anyways. They get a 2nd land down and use it to play out a challenger. That's nice, bro. Tell me more. They don't have any mana available, but they're holding us up. Classic mono-red move when they're done and they know it. The real enemy of mono-red is life gain, so we'll go with the terror this turn. We'll get a robot overlord and some gain and drain action to help them drop another one in their pants. At the beginning of the game, the mulligan button is the blue one, bro. That's the one you should have hit. Classic mono red. Classic. Are the pants on too tight? Are they loaded? Are robot overlords not in the plan? We cheesed it. GG's. And smell you later, bro, after you strap on a fresh set. This is Sleazy, one of the missing dwarves from Snow White. He got pulled from the movie for some reason. We get a shuffler special, and we're without any of our cards to bail us out. I like the double terror, but that won't help us out early. Mull. Then we get a mono black shuffler special, but this time we have a bell. Keep. It sucks, but I think it has to be the 3 steps ahead. The rest is a bit more critical. They play out a Gorehound. Sephiroth has been playing this guy as of late. Or they could be Roots. Place your bets, boys. We draw a second Bell, and that will open up the majority of our deck. We have only 2 cards over 4 mana. The Blood Witch gives them away. Sephiroth confirmed. We'll play out the second Bell and use it to fetch out another island. That'll give us the mana we need for the majority of our deck. They've even got the Zealot. What they don't have is a third land. Without one, they won't be able to play out their key card. Should be playing the Bell Bro. They send it and will bounce their Witch. If they sacrifice it, that's fine too. It's time to synthesize. Our robot overlords should be able to run the table against their smaller men. On top, we have a Fountainport and a Negate. I do like the 5th land, but the Negate might not have much of a target, so we'll ship it on down. Their Witch comes back for seconds. Thanks to the Surveil, they were able to ditch another Zealot. Don't need 2 of those, right, bro? Our first robot overlord is a tiny 6/6 beater. He only hurts them a little. What the crock is this? An Innocence in a Sephiroth deck? We shipped it on down and we draw it anyways. It could still be useful, so no crying about it for now. Let's send it. If they gang block, it'll blow their mind. And who doesn't like to see an opponent's head explode? To my surprise, they take the hit. Damages, bro. Damages. Walk it off. That's a good chunk of life right there. We'll draw with a Bell. We have plenty of mana to make another robot overlord, and that's really the plan. There's no way we have a ton of lands coming. We've still got the 2-lander we started with. That's their key card. Welcome aboard, Sephiroth. Please keep your hands and pants inside the vehicle at all times. They send it? They must not be familiar with our deck at all. Sucks to be them. Our fresh robot overlord will block up their Witch. It's a source of damages that we would love to see gone. The Zealot eats the Witch. They were going to do that anyways. Am I right, bro? We could use the Bell to draw another card, but if we're able to get our robot overlords big enough, we can force them to block with Sephiroth. I find that kind of... With all these lands, though, we need ammo. Let's draw. We draw a Terror. That's absolutely fantastic. We've got some gain and drain of our own. And that ensures that Sephiroth has to step out in front of one of our robot overlords. Let's send it. Shipping is always free. You could always not block, bro. That is an option. They do block up. Sephiroth is going down a hole. Sleazy is so cheap, he's going down bare, no coffin. We just smashed their keycard. You can smell the imminent arrival of the GGs. They try to raise the past, but it's going to remain buried. Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full, as are your pants. And that's GG's extra Robot Overlord cheese, and that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.